Now call the meeting of April 26th, 2017 to order. Mr. Obiak, please read roll call.
Jose Rosario.
Here.
Taylor Dame. Lori Cepeda. Here. Thomas Lima.
Here.
Patrick Hurd.
Here.
David Alden Sears.
Here.
Leandro Alvarez.
Here.
Jeremy Booten.
Here.
Luisa DeVidio. Here. Gabrielle Enright. Here. Shane Inman.
Here.
Vanessa Ruggieri. Here. Scott Kane. Michelle Brophy-Behrman. Here. Alan Salemi.
Here.
Nicholas Lima.
Here.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now move on to item 2, approval of the agenda. I seek a motion to approve the agenda. Motion from Representative Ruggieri, second from Vice President Dane. Is there any discussion on the agenda? Hearing no discussion, we move to a vote. All in favor of approving the agenda of April 26, 2017, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Abstentions. That the agenda is approved. I am now seeking a motion to approve the minutes of April 19th, 2017. Motion by Treasurer Lima, second by Deputy Speaker Alden Sears. Is there any discussion on the minutes of April 19th? One night Representative Lima.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sorry, Mary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Excuse
Just
me.
want to say sorry.
Sorry? All right. Is there any further discussion of the minutes? Hearing no further discussion, we move to a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes of April 19th, 2017, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Abstentions. And with that, the minutes are approved. We'll now move on to item 4, speakers. Item A, David Gingerella, Vice President for Administration and Finance, and Arthur Patrick, Director of College Dining Services, speaking on the changes taking place this summer to the Donovan Dining Center. You may address the body. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representatives, by the way, congratulations to all of you that won your elections. Thank you for having me here. There's been a change in some of the reporting and some of the responsibilities that have to do with the management or how we function with the auxiliaries compared to how they had done in the past. And, one of those changes is that the actual responsibility for the facilities has now been switched over to my area and the facilities department. And this room is one of those examples of that. So if you take a look, you can see that we did some things here to try to take the conduit, to try to make this more of a professional room, because the facility staff had an opportunity to be able to do that. Dr. Kane and his office are responsible for what happens in the room. My area and my stuff are responsible for what happens in the outside of the room. So the speakers and those type of things that we look at. By the way, if you're wondering about the color scheme is that's actually the official college color. That's the color that you have here on the lower level. You'll also notice that the floors that we have here, they're called Flotex. And that Flotex is actually a combination of carpet and tile. And it allows you to wear feels like a carpet, but it actually cleans up like a tile. When you go into gauge, you'll see that it's throughout all the classrooms there. It allows us so that it actually cleans up a lot better, it doesn't stain, and it's actually got a 20-year warranty. So it's the kind of things we're trying to do to make your spaces better, trying to improve the whole overall college experience. And that's why we're here today. One of the things that we would like to be able to try to do is to make your experience when you're in Donovan, as in this building, more pleasing. Again, I'll go back to Gage. I think when those of you that will still be here get a chance to be able to see the classrooms over there, you see that it's a classroom that I think you can be very proud of. They're all smart, they're all designed, they'll be much more comfortable, there's more light. What we're going to be doing over in Donovan, and Arthur will be glad to be able to go on through some of the details, is that we're going to replace pretty much all the furniture that's over there. All the seating is going to be this hard seating that you have. Is all being removed. It's going to be seating that actually has a cushion on it, so that'll be much more comfortable. When you go upstairs, you'll see that there's going to be it's almost like where the benches are and the kind of the wood booths. Those are going to be removed. You'll actually have it so it's almost like a bar up there now, so that individuals can sit there as you look down. So the amount of seating, actually, a little bit more seating, but that was not the intent. There'll be some soft seating up there as well. The whole intent is to make the experience better for you as the students and people that come visit. that you can be proud of what you have here, that when you go onto other campuses, you can compare that to what we have here, and you'll see that it's being done at the same way. So the funding for it is coming out of money that is available to us. There is no additional charges that we're putting on. This is money that has been built up for these type of things. The other two things, not as sexy as all of that, but both of these buildings are having their roofs repaired. Actually having new roofs put on them. They're due, and what we don't want to do is wait until one of them's leaking, put a bucket on it, and then have to replace it. They're due to be replaced, and they're being replaced this summer. So I'm glad to have Arthur give any other specifics. These are we thought we would leave these with you. You can come up, see them, touch them. This is pretty much what the tone, the style and the materials that we have. Again, there's a branding going on here at the college. We're trying to have it so that it has a Rhode Island College look to it, not overbearing, but you'll notice that the burgundy color that's around each one of these buildings that are around the quad, when gauge is done, they'll actually be atop of that gauge and have that same burgundy. The library's being done over the summer, that will have that same type of tone. So we're trying to tie everything in, not overdo it, but make you realize that you're on the right campus.
Thank you, Mr. Gingerella, and thank you, SCG, for allowing us the opportunity for this. What we're doing this summer, we have probably 4 major projects. This is consistent. This is part of a deliberate and comprehensive plan to do things every summer that improve our facilities and make the experience a little better. Now, Mr. Gingerella mentioned the roof that we're putting on. That is an important thing, and it's not sexy. However, one of the things that I think will be sexy are the solar panels that we hope to have installed on the roof by the end of the summer, as well as an antenna for WXIM. So, that being said, what I'd like to do is just discuss a little bit about what we're doing to the interior. As Mr. Gingerella mentioned, we're going to fully paint the interior of the Diamond Dining Center. It's going to include baseboards. It's going to include chair rails. We're going to fully paint the entire area, the service area. There'll be a new signage package. We're improving the electrical. There's a greater demand for people to use phone chargers, plug in this, plug in that. It's 2017. Everybody seems to need their own electrical plug. We're going to do our best to get more in there. Now, one of the things that's very, very exciting is the furniture package. Mr. Gingerella mentioned that the money is not going to be an additional assessment. It's not going to be an additional cost. Thanks to my predecessor, Mr. Fleming, and the way he taught us, we've been good fiscal stewards. The benches that you see upstairs, the benches were here before I got here. And I'm going on 30 years. Now, nobody can tell Vincent that they're going, because I have to break the news to him. But the furniture that's coming in is going to be a lot nicer. We had approximately 826 seats. The problem with the seating and the seating layout that we currently have is a lot of people come in and they sit down alone. If you sit at a table of 4 or 6, other people don't want to sit there. So what we've done, and I'm going to pass some of these out so you can get a visual, and there's some different configurations. I only have 7 of them there, but if you want to just pass them along, and this diagram up here is too small, but if you can envision being in the dining center, and we'll start in the mezzanine level, all the way across what I call the square will be overview tables. It'll be long tables, nice cushioned seats, so you can actually look over. Now, I see Mr. Lima over there. Hopefully nobody will be throwing french fries over the top. If they do, we'll deal with it. But the idea is, people nowadays, they want to do 2 things. They want to people watch and they want to look outside. So just like on the 2nd floor, you'll be able to overlook on the inside, all of the perimeter windows will have similar counter-style seats so that you can sit down, plug in your laptop, relax. In addition to that, on the 2nd floor, we're going to have bar height seats. We know people want to congregate in groups of 6 or 8, and we believe these will allow them to do so our guests to do so, and also take advantage of the view outside, or maybe also look over a bit. Now, one of the things that we have on the second floor, that's two of the things that we have on the second floor are two signature areas. Those signature areas are going to be a combination of soft seating, and I know this is very difficult to see from here. Some couches, coffee tables, some seating that you can just go and relax. One signature area is going to be outside of the president's dining room. The second signature area is going to be the alcove between room 202 and 204. On the first floor, we're also going to have different types of seating. We will continue with limited seating around the windows so that we can, people can enjoy that view. We will also have bar height tables, and we'll have a series of tables that can go from 4 to 6 in the center. That will allow us flexibility depending upon how busy it is, either have more seating for larger groups or less seating. Now, one key that I think is pretty good here, there's a lot of people that just want to come and sit in the seat. So we've increased the number of 2 top tables so that folks can do that. At the end of the day, we had about 126 seats over there. We never netted that many because 1 or 2 people might take up a table of 4 or 6. We believe we're going to yield more tables, more seating, and I believe it's going to be approximately 700, maybe we're going to lose in total 120 at max, but we're probably going to net maybe another 75. But the most important thing is the seating, the type of seating we're going to have, the various arrangements of seating we're going to have is going to be much more conducive to 2017. In addition to the seating, the painting, yet upgrades to the electrical, we're also looking at possibly doing something in the stairwell area, possibly some type of water feature, or even a built-in fireplace. The dining room itself is going to also have a new signage package. I'm working with various constituencies and stakeholders on campus to try to maximize the media that's up there so we can get more relevant, timely, and pertinent information out to our customers. And I think I mentioned I'm a little biased. I can't wait until the antenna goes up for WXIN so we don't have intermittent reception. Folks, I'm tired, I'm fighting the cold. I don't want to miss anything but be short. So what I've asked is, if Mr. Lima could, if we could leave these here tonight, and if Mr. Lima could pick them up and secure them in SCG, I'm around. I'm going to be around for a while. If you have any questions tomorrow, if you have any questions Friday, Monday, we'll be more than happy to answer them. And we'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have now on the upgrades that we expect over the summer.
Is there any discussion? President Rosario.
I think this is great, but with the additional seating that we're adding, are there any ADA accessible
Yes.
seating options that are being implemented?
Yes, we work closely with Kerry Rossi and with the company consultants just for that. 2 examples, and I'm glad you brought that up. While we're going to have soft seating, we will have both armless and soft seats with arms. The additional, the other seating that you see throughout here will also be ADA compliant and give us the flexibility if we have to expand it. That was one of the things that we brought in right from the get-go.
Thank you.
Alumni Representative Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Vice President Gintrella, as well as Mr. Patrick for coming and presenting this Parliament tonight. This is a great proposal. I love the variety of seating available. It really adds a lot of depth to the spaces that students can use. I do have one question. I know Donovan usually closes shortly after food service. Can students under this seating plan have more access to the space, perhaps after hours, maybe until 9 or 9:30?
That's a tremendous question. If it was only 9 or 9:30, that would be great. I was here until 10:30, at 11:15 Monday because we had the bingo. Last night we had a chess tournament and the bingo. We are looking at things like that so that we can expand we can increase the availability and opportunities for Donovan. And down the road, we very well may be looking at a little bit later, having the dining room available a little bit later.
What I'll just pick up on is that all of the new academic spaces are going to have a significant amount of student lounge space. So if you look at Gage, as you walk in, there is a pretty large room, probably about the size of this room, that will be like a student lounge area. And then there's 2 levels of additional student lounge areas that look out over the quad. So not only will you have the seating you have here, but when these close, if the classroom buildings are open, they'll still have areas for those. And that'll have soft seating as well.
And my other question, you mentioned the old the wooden benches up there. You mentioned they predate you. I remember just in my institutional research, probably creating you by several decades, in fact. I love the...
They're 34 years.
Yeah. I love the fact that this is being upgraded, and it's also sort of an incremental strategy on behalf of the college. I like to measure being done over the course of the summer. It's almost like what they do to Fenway Park. Every year they try to fix a little bit here and a little bit there instead of having a massive project. Like Fenway Park, I don't know, are you going to be selling any of those benches for souvenir?
That's a very good question. We have a lot of usable furniture, and what's happened is we've developed a plan. We're working with the other areas of the college to see how we can repurpose that on the campus.
And then I'll answer the second part of it, no. And the reason I'm saying that is because it's state property, even though we own it. And so we have to make it available to others in state property. If we sell it one-offs, then we'd have to have a wholesale. So while it might be nice if we could do something, some kind of a tradition, maybe find some of those to find a way to do it. The problem that we have, that's why we'd like to find a place to be able to put some of it out. But most likely what we would do is make it available to other areas, and if they pick it up, we have to give it to them. So we have to declare it surplus property before we can sell it. Now, having a yard sale, for lack of a better word, with some things like this as a fundraiser for maybe something like student government or other areas, that's a possibility. But we're not going to be putting tags out there for people to say, take a bench.
I don't think Wilmot will be banging down the doors to...
Well, we wish they would. I mean,
Thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Next up is me. I have 2 questions. My first, the Donovan is often set up for various events, and you're able to move around the tables. Is the new seating going to be mobile, and do you have the storage space for it if you want to move things?
Yes and yes. That was a key consideration, Mr. Speaker, when we designed this. It will not be as easily done, but for the few times that we have to set up an event, compared to the improvements for the college community, we think it's well worth it. And it's going to be trial and error. It's going to be trial and error.
And for my second question, Vice President Gingerella, we're saying this is going to be more like a bar. Can you give us the college's stance on being like a bar?
well, when I say like a bar, it's sitting around the opening that Alf was talking about.
Yeah.
You'll have the high top seats, and you'll look down. So that if you want to come in by yourself, or if it's just 2 people, you don't feel, you're at a table of 4 or that. It's not literally, for lack of a better word, but the around, as we're sitting here, if this is the middle, you'll have high tops here where you can look down or you can look out. It just makes it a little more comfortable for 1 or 2 people. What we're trying to do is make it comfortable not only for those that have friends or may have people that are with them, but when somebody's coming in, it's the first time they're by themselves. They're not the first time they're just running in, grabbing something and leaving, that they're not sitting at a table and kind of thinking that they're in a fishbowl and people are saying, well, I don't have a friend in the world here because I'm sitting here by myself. This way nobody knows, it doesn't make a difference. It's just kind of to make it a little bit more convenient. But we're not going to be serving beer, wine, shots of tequila. But,
All right, that answers my question. Thank you. Vice President Dane.
So I just have a couple questions. The picture on the front of the handout here has the TVs. Are those going to be affected in any way? The ones that play on your TV and the news channels, those are not going to be affected by this?
Absolutely not.
Okay. And my second question is, on the back left page, the president's dining room, there's this 39 square foot room that just has a question mark. What is that?
That's a janitor's closet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so when this was cropped, we didn't crop it that far. And it's not as big as it seems, folks. That's right before you go into the president's dining room.
That's all I have, thank you.
Good eyes.
So, Mr. Speaker, if I could expand just a couple of things on what we've talked about, if you
Yeah.
mind if I take the 5 more minutes? This is not the only, we're doing it here, we wanted to share this with you, for what we're doing down, but we also have plans for doing some significant general maintenance of the residence halls as well, that I think you'll see they'll be significantly different than what you've seen in the past, both inside and out. And around campus. We have worked very diligently. I'd love to take credit for it, but our budget director is an outstanding person that came to us from state government and knows how state government works, and so there's money that's available that the college just honestly just didn't ask for in previous years. And since he's been here and under this administration, we've been asking for it, and we've actually been getting some of that money. And so there'll be a number of other construction projects that'll be going on around campus. And then one thing is the one over in the residence hall that Dr. Kane and I have talked about is the beach volleyball. And whether that's something that's being used and not being used, and would there be a better use of that space rather than leaving it for beach volleyball? And if there's something, what we were thinking is that maybe putting some pavers there and putting some picnic tables and having it more of a hangout place. But if it's being used for beach volleyball, that's great. It just doesn't seem like it's something that's used all that often, and it isn't such a strategically cold place. So those are the kind of things I just wanted to mention that you'll be seeing over the summer. But if those of you that'll be here over the summer, you'll see this place will look like a construction zone in a lot of places. Those of you that are not here over the summer, when you come back, I think that you'll see that there's some things that'll be very different and some things that we're doing that's like a roof that you won't notice, but there's an awful lot of activity going on. And I'm glad to answer questions about those.
Thank you. Secretary Spade.
Mentioning the renovations to residence hall, is there any consideration for including actual appliances for students to use in the residence halls?
There is not.
Is
At
that
this
something
point, what we're
consideration?
talking about is basically similar to what you're talking about here, where what we're talking about is cosmetic. There'll be some, again, replacement, things that we need to do that haven't been done, but really the whole idea is to you can't make the spaces bigger, but to make them cosmetically more attractive.
Do you think that's something the college will take into consideration down the road?
I think that as the college looks to the next residence hall that we build, that input from this group and other groups on what those residence halls should look like will be part of that. But whether it be apartment style, whether it be something that has some kind of a kitchen in it, that brings other issues into place. And so we're really not quite sure, but we do have a plan to try to go forward and build the next residence hall in the next couple of years. We're in the very beginning stages of that. And so that's something you'll be hearing about next year. I'm sure that we'll be coming to this body on more than one occasion to give you an update on that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Next on the list. I will say about the volleyball court near Weber. It is used for volleyball on occasion, probably not frequently, but it is used for volleyball. It's known as Weber Beach, and I'd hate to see it be a place that used to be known as Weber Beach, because there are places where there are picnic tables around campus, around the Don, around the cafe, out towards the media center and patio. I'd like to see furniture tables in more areas, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, right now we're just going to clean it up, and the whole question is whether or not, if it is a viable area that people do enjoy and want to use. I'm just being honest in my own thing. I would not go in that barefoot, personally. But maybe all of you are kind of good with that. I mean, because that's what you got to do with beach volleyball. You got to go barefoot. It's probably not the location I would do that in, but if you guys are doing it and you want to use it, that's fine. We're not trying to take anything away. We're trying to improve things. And I don't have a place to re-put it, but it's just that it isn't a very, we call it real estate. This building is in prime real estate. That volleyball court is in prime real estate. And it's in a place that we're trying to make the experience for the residents there more enjoyable. And so if the court's the right way to go, that's great. If something else should be there, we're glad to consider doing that as well.
All right, thank you. Deputy Speaker Alden Sears.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to say, gentlemen, the presentation was great. I believe that all the renovations, proposed renovations, are astounding. I think it's a great idea. And I appreciate you both being here this evening. It really shows true commitment to a effort to increase these types of talks between the administration and student community government. And I appreciate you both being here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Is there any further discussion? Thank you for coming here today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now move on to item 5, open forum. Is there anyone here for open forum? Is there anyone here for open forum? Is there anyone here for open forum? With no one here for open forum and no one signed up for open forum, I declare the open forum period closed. We'll now move on to item 6, officers' announcements. Item A, President Rosario.
Hello, everyone. Well, last time I'll be saying that this year. I want to take a second and genuinely thank all of you for this wonderful year and the amount of work that you've all put in this year. It's been really great to hear dialogue and discussion and efforts being put in and people being passionate about things. I think that's what this is about. We were created to really be a voice, and I think throughout the year we saw that evolve and people got their strengths, got their bearings, and we moved forward. Throughout this year, my biggest goal was to be approachable, to be open-minded and transparent, and hopefully just provide an ear for any student, no matter which walk of life they were in or where they came from. I wanted to make sure that I was representing every student. I believe that most people felt comfortable when they came into my office, and that is a success for me. You know, that's where I wanted to be. I'm really glad that we got to do a lot of things with the college administration and build that new relationship. I think we're in the middle of a really beautiful, beautiful change where students are really being considered as we're making big decisions on the campus. And I am very glad to have been a part of that. I'm very glad to have represented us in any way that I could, no matter if it was meetings every day or, search committees. I'm happy to do that. And I would not change a thing about this year in terms of running for president, because I do think that this was an amazing experience. And it definitely wasn't just me. The executive council worked tirelessly, especially when I had things that I just needed help with. You all were by my side, and it was very appreciated. So I thank you all for a wonderful year, and I encourage all of you, whether you're coming back or whether you're graduating, tell your friends to come and sit on Parliament, because we really do need to be a haven for all students. We need to give an opportunity for everyone to be heard. And now I'm passing on the torch, and it's up to all of you to make that happen. And I truly believe that this body can do that. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now move on to item D, Vice President Dane.
Okay, so we had our elections today for class officers of 2020, 2018, 2019, so I'm going to read those off real quick. President of the sophomore class, Saeed Sharma, won 10 votes. Vice President Justin Cormack, 10 votes. No one ran for secretary. Dylan Tavares got 3 votes as a write-in. Leandro Alvarez got 1 vote. Emilio Orellana got 1 vote. Nobody for sophomore class rep. For the junior class, Julio Baroa Nunez got 9. Tom Lima got 1. Allison Tugas got 1. Allison Tugas got 9 votes for vice president. Nick Lima got 1 vote for vice president. For secretary, Tyler Tate got 10 votes. Jack Woodfeld got 1. For treasurer, Leandro Alvarez got 7. Amelia Orellana got 4. And for junior class rep, Genesis Garcia got 1. Jonathan Scanlon got 1. So they will be going to a runoff election next year. For the senior class, president is Mia Palumbo. She got 15. Patrick Hurd got 5. Louisa got 1. Louisa in the video, by the way. Vice president Caitlin Worth got 16. Patrick Hurd got 5. Scanlon got 1. Secretary Sydney Curran got 16 votes. Patrick Hurd got 5. Treasurer Marissa Callis got 16 votes. Patrick Hurd got 5. For the senior class representative, Patrick Hurd got 5 votes. Louisa DeVito got 9 votes. Scanlon got 1 vote. Mia Palumbo got 1 vote. I wish we could have thanked her in person, but if you see her, you should thank her for her service to SCG. And yeah, it's been nice working with all of you, so thanks. That's all I have, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Now move on to item C, Secretary Spada.
First, I'd like to congratulate the elected officers for next year. I look forward to seeing all the great work you guys will do and everything you will do to improve life here for students on campus. I look forward to serving on this body as a site representative, which is the first time I've been a site rep, which is pretty exciting too. And kind of seeing where things go from here out with all the transitioning going on campus. Apart from that, the Story Awards are this Friday, very exciting times. Make sure to be at Crown Plaza at 6 o'clock for all the yummy hors d'oeuvres, and dinner will be served at 7:15. If you'd like to present an award, I'll be in the office tomorrow from 12 to 3, so please come up and tell me which awards you'd like to present. The committee got first pick, and then each executive board officer presents the award for that category at the Story Awards, so like president would present best president or president of the year. And if you'd like to present any of the other awards, just come up and let me know. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Now move on to item D, Treasurer Lima.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, the block parties tomorrow on the quad, Randall Location Donovan, 3 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. RSA is going to have a carnival there. It should be a good time. SCG is again giving out T-shirts, so that's going to be a great time. I'll yield to Dr. King if he has a question.
Rain location? I'm just looking at the weather. I don't know. It looks kind
Donovan Dining Center, I believe. I talked to Arthur about that. Floor back. And aside from that, the Finance Commission has had several phone votes. As of Sine at the end of this meeting, the Finance Commission expires, so I would like to thank all the Parliament reps who served on finance this year for that. And if you're a member of any club or know any student organizations that would like to petition for allocation or reallocation, all action would have to go through the Executive Council after Sine until the Executive Council's term expires June 1st. And that concludes my announcements.
Thank you. Now move on to item E, Speaker Hurd. First of all, I have a leave. It reads, to whom it may concern, I will not be available for the Sine meeting this evening as I'm recovering from pneumonia and bronchitis. Best Nathaniel Banks. I'm seeking motion to approve this leave. Motion from Treasurer Lima, second from President Rosario. Is there any discussion on Representative Banks' leave? Hearing no discussion, move to the vote. All in favor of approving his leave, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Abstentions? That his leave is approved. My announcements. Motion from Vice President Dane, second from Representative Inman. Is there any discussion on Dr. Kane's late leave? Hearing no discussion, move to the vote. All in favor of approving Dr. Kane's late leave, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Abstentions? With that, the late leave is approved.
Thank you.
As for my announcements, I just want to reiterate for all the new members that are still sitting with us and for members here that are serving in the body in the future. I mentioned this at your orientation meeting, if you remember, but I told every single one of you, speak. It's your duty. It gets you engaged. Speak. That's how you represent your constituency. And I'd love for we'd have discussion that goes 4 hours every meeting. You may not, but it's what we're here for. We're here to discuss, ask questions.
Point of information.
Please state your point of information.
All members do receive a stipend, so it's critical that you are compensated.
Thank you. And also take notes. My sheet looks like a Yakuza member, Japanese gangster after all this, tattooed. And that's another thing for engagement. It's the last meeting, but there's still so much that we can do. And it doesn't end here. And I just want to remind everyone that you serve the student body, so get involved. Join clubs. If you can't join them on a regular basis, at least attend their events, pop in, see what they're doing. Because a big part of what we do is for clubs, and if you're not in touch with them, they're not going to like us. And I know Anchor TV is bored out of their minds usually sitting through us, but you can make this exciting for clubs if you're doing things that help them and speaking up for them, as well as our other students, because you reach a lot of students when you're in clubs. I know I've met so many people from being in clubs throughout my 4 years here, and it's here a little bit. That's all for my announcements. Thank you. Now move on to item F, Deputy Speaker Alden Sears.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd just like to say all of you here have shown such commitment and dedication to the students in which you represent. 7:15 on a Wednesday night, middle of the week, is certainly not an easy thing. So it shows great commitment and great sacrifice just for showing up and being here. Again, I'd like to echo my colleagues that said, make sure that your voice is heard, make sure that you speak on behalf of your constituents. Listen to them, talk to them, go out to Donovan, sit down, have lunch with these people. These are the people that put you in your positions. And I would highly recommend that you start opening dialogue, not just in here, but outside, here on campus. I would like to thank all of you here, especially President Rosario, Vice President Dame, Secretary Cepeda, and Speaker Hurd, for your great commitment to this body and to your students in which you represent. Thank you tremendously for your sacrifices that you have made. And thank you so much to all of you that just got elected this evening to new positions. I look forward to working with all of you. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I end my announcements.
Thank you. We now move on to item 7, Constitutions and Organizations Conference Reports. Item A, Conference Reports. Number 1, Otaku, Secretary Cepeda.
We have a rep here from Otaku who's going to tell us about their conference. So you can stand up and address the body.
Thank you, Student Community Government. Congratulations on your elections. My name is Caleb McPhee, and I am president of Rick Otaku. I'll make this quick. On March 31st to April 2nd, 8 of our members attended Anime Boston, which was held in Boston, Massachusetts. And it was a convention that celebrated and informed the community, the greater community, and our members on what our mission statement is, which is anime and manga. That's our primary focus, and this is the conference's primary focus. They held multiple panels throughout the day, throughout the weekend, industry panels where they had guests from Japan, directors, producers, voice actors in the industry, talking about the industry and their experience, and us educating ourselves in that. Industries such as licensing companies who are based in America, who bring this anime and manga to the United States, licensing it legally, and then talking about their announcements and holding events like premieres and other such, hosting other other industry people such as English voice actors and whatnot. And this was a benefit to our club on this level of being benefit to our mission statement, but also on a metatextual level. This was real growth for our club. This was something, a monumental achievement for us. We had never gone on a conference like this, and I want to personally thank Student Community Government for helping in funding this. We wouldn't have been able to do it without you guys, and really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And it was a big deal for us. We had never achieved something this important, and it took a lot of energy and time and planning. So it helped our club grow in that way, and we're looking forward to hopefully doing it next year and growing even more. I think that would be all of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm seeing a motion to approve. Excuse me?
Motion to approve.
Motion from Vice President Dame, second from President Rosario. Is there any discussion on this conference report? Hearing no discussion, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of approving the Otaku conference report, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Abstentions? And with that, the conference report is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now move on to item 2, Spanish Club conference report, Secretary Cepeda.
So there's a representative in the hall, but I'm passing around the letter they submitted, so you can just take one. Pass it around.
every year for the past several years, and we go to see various plays. This year we went to see one that was entitled La Zapatera Prodigiosa. And it was a play that was written by a Spanish playwright. And there were, I believe, 5 or 6 students that accompanied us, as well as 2 of our professors. And we took the train directly from Providence and went to New York and spent the day there and saw this play. And it actually, the majority of the students that came on the trip, actually all of them, were taking a Spanish class that coincided with the author of the play that we went to see. We were very grateful that we were able to have the opportunity to go to New York this year again, and we very much thank Parliament and student community government in general for giving us this opportunity. We hope to be able to go again in the future.
Thank you. I'm seeking a motion to approve the Spanish Club conference report. Motion from Vice President Dame, second from Representative Ruggieri. Is there any discussion on this conference report? Hearing no discussion, move to a vote. All in favor of approving the Spanish Club conference report, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Abstentions? With that, the conference report is approved. Thank you. Now move on to item 8, reports. Item A, Finance Commission minutes of April 12th, 2017 and April 19th, 2017. Treasurer Lima.
These minutes were approved by the Finance Commission. I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion from Treasurer Lima, second from Vice President Dame. Is there any discussion on these Finance Commission minutes? Hearing no discussion, move to a vote. All in favor of approving the Finance Commission minutes of April 12th, 2017 and April 19th, 2017, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Abstentions? With that, the minutes are approved. Now move on to item B, Student Organizations Committee minutes of April 12th, 2017 and April 19th, 2017. Secretary Spaghetti.
These minutes were approved by my committee, and I ask that they be accepted with unanimous consent.
Is there any objection to these minutes being accepted with unanimous consent? Hearing no objection, they are accepted. Now move on to item 9, new business. Item A, equal access to education resolution. President Rosario.
Thank you, everyone. So myself, Vice President Dane, Treasurer Lima, and Secretary Zepeda worked on this resolution together to support equal access to education. It reads as follows. Whereas Student Community Government Incorporated and Student Parliament are committed to supporting the needs and concerns of all students. Whereas providing greater access to higher education will diversify our student body and provide a more representative group of leaders within student life. Whereas we understand the value of a college degree and experiential learning that can be attained at Rhode Island College. Whereas we advocate for further state funding to provide academic support, greater retention, and career development, and result in a high-quality education that addresses students' needs. Be it therefore resolved that SCG supports all efforts to ease the financial burdens of an individual's access to higher education. Be it further resolved that we will continuously strive to provide the supplemental student development and growth through student organizations and leadership opportunities.
Thank you. We have a motion from President Rosario. Second from Vice President Dame. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Hearing no discussion, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of approving the Equal Access to Education resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Abstentions? And with that, the resolution is approved. Now move on to item 10, updates and remarks. Item A, administration update. Dr. Scott King.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm sorry I missed the last meeting. I was on vacation, but it's reminds me of the olden days. Alumni Representative Lima.
Gotta get money back.
Good. Congratulations to all of the newly elected officers. I wish you the best of luck next year. Of course, I'll still be here. There working with you, supporting you in any way that I can. I think we have, you can see, I think, from the presentation tonight, from some other things that are going on around campus, that with the college's current administration sort of changes the norm, right? And there's going to be a lot of doing things, a lot of things differently and trying to make improvements. And I think, probably if we're realistic, many of the changes will be improvements. There may be some misses, but there's going to be some. It's all in an attempt to make things better. I would issue that same challenge to student community government and Parliament next year. really, and I have lots of thoughts that President-elect Lima, I'd like to speak to you about, and the other officers about some things to look at. I don't really know, what will work and what won't work, but we won't know until we try. And but I think you have to really begin to take a look at your operations and try to do some things differently. It'll help your, in particular, to try to help your membership here and help student organizations and help the student experience. So I just want to throw that challenge out there to all of you who will be coming back. For those of you who, whether you're coming back or not, have served Parliament this year, thank you very much for your service, invaluable to the college. We really appreciate your input. We're as President Rosario was saying, we like to get you involved. We like to get your input. We like to put you on committees, and it's not just sort of a token representation, but it's important for the college to hear from a variety of different individuals that come from have different perspectives. What are student issues in today's day and age, so that we can try to stay up with them or even ahead of them as best we can. We can't do that if you're not involved, and of course, if you don't speak up. I will tell you, and you may have heard him say this himself, but President Sanchez, every once in a while he'll say to me, he goes, I might say to him, well, that's students, complaining or can be difficult. He goes, I kind of like that sometimes. Because I think he likes to be challenged too, to make sure that we're, trying to serve all students' needs. So please do not hold back. But again, thank you everybody who served this year. Finally, I wanted to make an announcement. I don't know if you've heard this, but I want to make sure there was an announcement sent to faculty and staff. I'm not sure that it was sent to students or not. But as you probably know, the college is hiring a vice president for academic affairs and a vice president for student success. Those search committees have been formed, the positions have been advertised for, resumes have been collected, search committees have been reviewing resumes, and it is projected that the finalists for those two searches will be on campus May 9th, 10th, and 11th. And I am sure that in addition to student representation on the search committees, I presume, that there will be sessions for students and student government to be involved. So I don't really know what the schedule will be, more to come on that, but I would encourage you that when you see the announcement, most likely via email, but maybe even on digital signage and other ways, to attend those sessions so that you can, again, give the college feedback on what the candidates that come to campus and who you think might make the best vice president. And that is all. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. We'll now move on to item C, staff update. Mr. Alice Levy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, it kind of came late into the year. I think it probably got short as the longest meeting of the year. It was probably average. We've seen a lot of people here through the year because they wasn't involved, but I know the amount of work that gets involved and that you have to put in. I appreciate everybody that's done that so far this year, and look forward to everybody continuing that and moving on next year. I would say to make sure that everybody reads the mission statement of this body and also their particular goals for their different levels of officers that they've achieved, and make sure you fully understand that and are willing to do that and go from there. And good luck to everybody and enjoy the summer.
Thank you. Now move on to item D, alumni update. Mr. Nicholas Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the members of this body for affording me the privilege to serve as the alumni representative over the course of the last year. And as I sit here on Root Beer Road, Root Beer congregated this way. I also want to thank and congratulate the incoming SUG Executive Council and officers. I wish you all the best of luck next year and your two new terms that start on June 1st. I also want to congratulate the 4 outgoing officers who I think did a phenomenal job this year. In particular, I've sort of made a recurring theme to talk about how important recruitment is, and I still think that's very important for this body next year. But I can say as someone that served on a parliament with 8 members and served on a parliament with 34 members, it can be harder to do Parliament's job and to properly represent students with a small Parliament. And this body, despite those challenges, still did a very effective job, I think. being a voice for the students this year, making sure that you communicated well with not only the students themselves, but also with the administration, and also proposing a lot of, I think, important resolutions and initiatives that did indeed represent the voice of the student body. For that, I think you deserve congratulations, and I think that your time here was very well served for this body. For those of you that are graduating, I would hope that you would consider joining the Alumni Association and becoming an active participant in it. We have a recent alumni committee that's been meeting very frequently. Actually, we're going to have another meeting in a couple of weeks. We'll likely be meeting once or twice this summer and again in the fall. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I can put you in touch with a member of the alumni board or the chairperson of the committee. Other than that, I also did mention at the last meeting the alumni awards banquet's coming up, and student government officers and members were extended an invitation from President Zero. So if you were interested in that, I hope you took the opportunity to take it. Thank you again for affording me the opportunity to be here this year, and wish you all a very happy and safe summer, and best of luck for those of you that leave Rhode Island College behind. Thank you all once again. Thank you, Mrs. Speaker.
Thank you. Now move on to item 11, appointments, resignations, and vacancies. President Rosario.
As this is the final meeting of the year, we will not be making any appointments tonight.
Thank you. Now move on to item 12, issues of problem members. Please raise your card if you have an issue you'd like to discuss. President Rosario.
So I just wanted to make this body aware, particularly for next year. I served on a panel today, and every other panelist on the panel had one thing that they would want to change about Rick, and they all said the same thing. They would like for food to be available at later times throughout the day, particularly at the late hours, because a lot of times people are sitting and don't have a place to get food on campus. So I just wanted to make this body aware of that.
Thank you. Dr. King.
I forgot to mention, my apologies, that every year when the new officers take office on June 1st, the term is June 1st to May 31st, we try to, or since I've been here, we've started an induction ceremony for the new officers, and we are planning to do that again this year on June 1st, probably around the lunch hour. We're in the process of reserving rooms and kind of putting away the final details. But I just wanted to mention that last year we started inviting members of Parliament and finance and other student leaders, as well as members of the college leadership. And so you'll be receiving an email to that effect once we have all of the details worked out. We hope you'll be able to join us for that. It's a reasonably timed, short ceremony, but it's a great way to recognize the transition in student leadership. And the only other thing I wanted to say is that Storgies might be an appropriate time to recognize Dr. Brophy Behrman if she is going to retire. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Speaker Alden Sears.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to bring up an issue that I brought up the last meeting of the fall semester before I went to break. And my issue is there are a lot of students here that really don't know how to drive. Really bad situation. Walking to my car this morning, I almost got knocked over twice. I almost got ran over twice. Because, pedestrians don't have the right of way, I guess, on this campus. Because believe me, they drive around here like they're on a mission. Like they drive like they mean it. Oh yeah. And God help you if you're walking past an open parking spot. Just a really bad situation. So all of you out there, God be with you. Stay safe while walking through those lots, because seriously, it's severe. And even when you get onto the campus, okay? When you're walking onto the campus, when you're finally there, you got those stupid little cars, those little club cars, and they're driving around. They don't care who's in front of them. They're driving around. My God, those things must have. I sold Fiats that have less power than those things. Those things are going fast, and they're hitting things. It's terrible. With that, I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Are there any further issues of Parliament members? Vice President Dane.
Since we're going back to old issues, my issue of wet socks and puddles. This quad out here between the media center and the Union is just an ocean of water, and now it's covered in worms. And it needs to be, I don't know, I should have asked Dr. Brown when he was here, but can we raise it or see if maybe we can redo the concrete slabs. I mean, I won't be here, it won't bother me anymore, but I'm sure it bothers other people. It's like just a bowl of water, and we all have to walk through it, and it's upsetting, so that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is me. I'd also like to complain about wet socks. You know, around Alexanani, the way the concrete is, it's like designed to be like an ocean of concrete, not flat anywhere. It's like every single step is a puddle. They're all little puddles instead of like one big puddle, but all the little puddles are worse than big puddle. And I really hate that. My socks were wet. I was running over from cap and gown today. That was awful. I had to run through the puddles, which make them about the same as big puddles, if you ask me. The intensity of them is horrible. And that's all for my issues. Are there any further issues? President Rosario.
Lastly, I would just like to congratulate Speaker Hurd and Representative Bruton for the wonderful job they've done representing the senior class, particularly with the class gift today. I'd just like to congratulate you both.
Thank you. Are there any further issues of problem members? Hearing no further issues, I am seeking a motion from President Rosario, second from Vice President Dame to adjourn Sine Die. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we move to a vote. All in favor of adjourning Sine Die, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Abstentions. Representative Inman abstains. And with that, we are adjourned Sine Die. Please remain silent and seated while Ms. Novak reads roll call.
Jose Rosario.
Here.
Taylor Dane.
Here.
Lori Cepeda. Here. Thomas Lima.
Here.
Patrick Hurd.
Here.
David Alden Sears.
Here.
Leandro Alvarez.
Here.
Jeremy Buchan.
Here.
Luisa DeVideo. Luisa.
Oh, here, I'm sorry.
Gabrielle Enright. Here. Shane Inman. Here. Vanessa Ruggieri. Here. Scott Kane.
Here.
Michelle Brophy-Behrman. Alan Salemi. Nicholas Lima.
Here.
Thank you. We are adjourned.